Hi guys, today we're going to be making beef with salsa verde. Let's go. What we do first, make sure you get your machine. You can do it by hand if you like to, but a machine is far quicker. So just a normal food processor. Within that, we've got a combination of parsley, basil, and we've also got some mint. Just get a little bit of a hint at the end. So that's just going to go inside the blender. Just shove it in. From there, we're going to add, I've got 3 cloves of garlic. Just throw them in. We have some Spanish onion, not a lot, it's about 25 grams. We have some capers. I love capers, they're one of my favorite. They just burst in your mouth when you eat them. Very fresh, put them in there. We've got some anchovies. I'm not a huge anchovy person, but when you put them into a sauce like this and they blend with other flavors, they're fantastic. So please don't look at this recipe and go, oh, I don't like anchovies. Give it a go because it's actually really nice. There's anchovies go in there. And next we've also got some gherkin. It's beautiful. So please just a small little jar of gherkin and they go in there as well. That's the base of what we have. So then you just get your food processing machine and you blitz it. So you blitz it about halfway. We're just about there. Then we'll grab a spoon and we'll come down the edges just to make sure everything gets blended in. And you should be able to smell those fresh flavors. The garlic and the anchovies and also the capers actually coming out really strong. So again, lid on. And you blend it a little bit more. So when it's all blended, you can see the beautiful green color. So it's all been blended really well through there. Everything's been off the sides. Then we're going to add some olive oil. You want roughly 250 mils of olive oil, but in saying that, add it little by little bit. You might need 200, you might need 240. So what I'd probably do is add a decent glug in to start with. Then we'll just give it another blend. What you can also do is, you can add it from the top. So once that's been a bit more olive oil in there, yeah, still need a little bit more. As you can see, it's still a little bit dry. There's not a lot of liquid within that, so it still needs a little bit more. Let's pour it in from here. I know it needs a fair bit. Again, 250 mils is roughly what you'll need. Okay, should be fairly close. That's actually worked out well. I'm happy with that now. So now we're just going to have a bit of a taste. Just to make sure the seasonings, so I hadn't added salt to this because anchovies can be salty, capers can be salty. So we sort of back off a little bit before we put anything in there. And that's not too bad. But I will add a little bit of cracked black pepper, not a lot. And I'll also add just a little bit of salt. Again, just take it easy with the salt until you get it right. Just get that one last blend. So again, get a fresh spoon, and I'll just try that to make sure that's okay. So basically you're testing to make sure you can get all the flavors. You can taste the parsley, the mint, and you can taste the garlic and the capers. So it's getting an all-round flavor of everything, and I'm actually really happy with that. So I'm just going to take that out. I'm just going to pour that into a bowl. This will last for a few days. So in the fridge isn't a problem. Salsa Verde, that basically means green sauce in Italian. So traditionally it was made with whatever fresh herbs were available in that season. So it could be parsley, it could be oregano, basil, so it was whatever was actually available. The general basis is you've got your capers, you've got your anchovies, and you've got garlic. So anything else are additives. You can add some red wine vinegar to this if you like to. Traditionally it has that through there, or it could have some mustard, or Dijon mustard, which is nice. So that's our Salsa Verde. So with that today, we're going to do that with a nice piece of steak. It can be done with fish, any type of beef, pork, lamb is really nice. But today it's going to be steak. So I've got our burner. So first thing, we're going to get our burner hot. So you want a hot pan for steak. A lot of people ask me how to cook a steak properly. There are many ways from a chef's perspective, but I want to teach you a very quick, very easy way where you can tell what is medium. And then you can adjust from that point there. So today I've got a nice piece of Scotch fillet. It's got a nice bit of fat thrown through the middle, which is how you can tell what a Scotch fillet is. So you want it to come to room temperature. So leave it out 20 minutes to half an hour before you want to cook it. So first off, you need a hot pan. That is probably the most important thing to do. Second is, you just put some oil across the top. I prefer to oil the steak, not the pan, because on the pan it can actually burn. So on the steak, you put exactly what you need and it actually comes out far better. So from this, you want to actually season well. So you put a decent amount of seasoning on there. From there, I'm going to also put some cracked black pepper on this. Then, we're going to turn that over. I'm going to do the other side as well. Again, our pan isn't too far off. Because when you put the steak on there, you want to hear the noise, you want to shh. You want that sizzle straight away, because that'll caramelize the bottom, and that's where you get the nice flavor comes through. So we've got our steak there. We're just going to wait for our pan to cook up heat up a little bit more. Or even on a barbecue, whether it be a flat pan, a barbecue, whether it be on a griddle plate like this, it doesn't matter. But the essential thing is you have to have heat. It's got to be hot. It's got to start smoking is how hot you want to have this. Okay, so this pan is just about to come up to heat. I can definitely feel the heat in that. So this now, you're going to put, and you want to hear the noise. You want to hear that sizzle. If you don't hear that, it has not hot enough. So that's just going to cook through. What I'm looking for with this, I want some blood to come to the surface. So you want to sear the bottom of the steak, and you want to keep the moisture in. That's the importance of searing it, so the moisture doesn't escape. Then as the moisture comes through the steak, it'll come to the top. As soon as you see moisture coming to the top, you then turn the steak over. The reason I can't give you a time period of the 2, 3 or 4 minutes is because if you have a thinner piece of steak compared to a thick piece of steak, so it's very hard to gauge the proper temperature or the proper time period to cook this. So we're just going to wait for that blood just to come off. You don't need to move it, you don't need to touch the steak, you just got to leave it. And again, you'll see blood come to the surface, and that's when it's time to stir it over. Right, our steak's been cooking for probably about 2 minutes now, and I can just start to see a little bit of red coming through. So just gonna hold that for another 10 or 20 seconds. If you like your steak rare, I'd probably say now is probably the best time to turn it over. Sear it and then turn it without waiting for the blood to come to the top. As I said, the blood's just about to come to the top now. So we're just gonna give that a turn over. So on the outside, it's all caramelized. You've got a crust on the outside, which is what you're after. So again, I haven't moved it. All I've done is put it on a hot pan, season well, olive oil. That's it. Steak is very simple to cook. We're now gonna wait now for this little blood to come through the other side now. You'll just see it coming through. That's when we're gonna take this off. That is roughly medium. Then that's gonna sit and it's gonna rest. The rule basically is you rest for half the time of the cooking. So if it's a 5-minute cooking time, you rest for about 2.5 minutes. So if you want this well done, you can keep this in this pan. Or what I personally do if I want something well done, not that I do it very often, because I like steak medium, is I'll then put this pan into an oven. So turn your oven on to about 180 degrees and you bake it like a roast. And now an extra 5 or 6 minutes in the oven, and then your steak will be, so it won't be overcooked on the outside, you'll actually cook it within the inside. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to slightly see the blood coming through. I'm just going to, just on the outside, I'm just going to sear that just a little bit. Just on the edges. So that's not too far off. Actually, the smell is actually really nice. You can taste that caramelization of the steak. It's beautiful. Okay, so our steak is all but there now. So I just see the blood starting to rise a little bit. Look, a nice color on both sides. So all I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna take it off. I'm just gonna rest it. Just take it off onto a plate and just put it aside for probably 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And so this will allow all the moisture within the steak to stay within the steak. You know, so you don't wanna cut it open now, it'll run everywhere. So just a few minutes, you'll get a far better result if you rest it. So while we're resting that steak, we're gonna set up our little plate here. This is something you could do at home watching TV, or you could do it as a dinner table with your family. Is you just get some Salsa Verde. We're gonna have just a spoon on the side there. I'm gonna cut the steak, it's gonna sit on here. So that's something you could actually put on your dinner table with some nice bread, or some nice vegetables, whatever you wanna have, just some green beans, or some broccolini, or even a nice salad. Nice, you know, would be sensational with this. So just use your imagination. Whatever you like, you can serve with this, it's really nice. So our steak is rested for about 3 minutes at this point. So we're just gonna place that on our board. Then we're just gonna cut against the grain. Just in the nice big slices. If you're doing too small, the steak goes cold too quickly. Then across the top, just going to place some of our Salsa Verde. So there we have our steak with Salsa Verde. Enjoy.